6 years after a cop rescued this unadoptable dog, they made a disturbing discovery in the woods. Hit the subscription button and ring the notification bell. This way you'll be the first to learn about the updates that appears on Inspiring Stories several times a day. When police assigned Trooper Daniel O'Neill an unadoptable shelter dog as his first canine partner, he poured his heart into training her. And eventually the pooch became the perfect police dog. So when the pair made a disturbing discovery in some woods one day, the dog, Ruby, knew exactly what to do. In her first year on this planet, Ruby the dog was put through the ringer. She had even wound up in an animal shelter in East Providence, Rhode Island, on 4 different occasions. And it appeared that her chances of receiving a happy ending were slipping from her grasp. The trouble was that Ruby wasn't exactly what you'd call the perfect pet. In particular, she was hostile to children and other animals. Those caring for her at the shelter had therefore decided that she was a no-hope case. So they arranged for her to be euthanized. The one person who believed in Ruby, though, was her dog trainer, Patricia Inman. And every time the pooch returned to the shelter, Inman did all she could to improve Ruby's behavior and boost her chances of adoption. However, even with all her expertise, the trainer couldn't change the dog. Writing on Facebook, Inman revealed she did not have an off switch. She was too much dog for most families. But while Ruby wasn't your average pet, the trainer thought there was one place where the dog's energy might be appreciated. That's why Inman contacted the Rhode Island State Police Canine Unit. And after hearing about Ruby, it decided to take the dog on. So, just 2 hours before Ruby was due to be put down, the cops assigned her to Daniel O'Neill. O'Neill had been a trooper for 7 years, but it had always been his dream to work in the canine unit. So when O'Neill finally met Ruby, he was able to see past her rambunctiousness to the clever pup within. He had high hopes for the dog's law enforcement career too. But first, he had to take Ruby home to his pregnant wife, toddler son and pet pooch. Over the course of the next 4 months, then, O'Neill kept a close eye on Ruby. In fact, the pair did everything together. The dog accompanied the cop on his lengthy runs and even went to work at the police department. The idea was to form a relationship. The dog has to really love you to work for you, O'Neill explained to Police magazine in March 2018. During this time, O'Neill also plowed his energy into actually training Ruby. And this was no mean feat. Sometimes I'd look at other members of the canine unit with their respective high-priced canines that were bred for police work and say, "How did I get this disaster?" O'Neill admitted to Today in April 2018. However, as soon as Ruby's routine stabilized, her behavior began to improve. And before long, the dog had earned her police badge. She went on to assist O'Neill on several cases. These included searches for 10 missing people, 3 of whom she found alive. Perhaps Ruby's most memorable case occurred in October 2017, though. It was then that O'Neill took a call from Gloucester Police Department regarding a teenage boy who had been missing for 36 hours. With no sign of the youngster anywhere, Gloucester Police wanted the cop and Ruby to join the search. The pair did so willingly, and O'Neill began by creating a victim profile of the missing boy. To do so, he paid a visit to the teen's mother, who told the cop where her son and his friends usually went hiking. Armed with this information, O'Neill and Ruby went to search the area alongside another trooper and his dog. A short way into the search, Ruby suddenly darted off. O'Neill followed, and that's how he came to discover a body lying face down on the ground. By this point, his dog was already 1 step ahead of him. She was licking the person's face in an attempt to revive them. When O'Neill got closer to the body, he could see that it was the young man they'd been looking for. He flipped him over and discovered that his head had been badly cut. But despite his injuries, the cop managed to locate the faintest of pulses. So he radioed his colleagues for assistance. However, when troopers arrived in the forest, they were unable to locate O'Neill and the casualty. Time was of the essence, so the cop instructed Ruby to bark. Thanks to the cop's quick thinking, they were eventually found, and the young man was rushed to a nearby hospital. With the boy in safe hands, O'Neill returned to his mother's house to inform her that they'd found him. She was so grateful to the cops in their work that she started to cry. But when she regained control of her tears, she had an unusual question for O'Neill. Did he know a dog named Ruby? Describing what happened next, O'Neill revealed, "I was taken aback. I said, yes. Ruby is my canine partner who just found your boy." Upon hearing the revelation, the woman started to cry once more. That's because she was Patricia Inman, the trainer who had saved Ruby from death row all those years ago. For O'Neill, the coincidence was just remarkable. "Can you imagine the dog whose life she'd saved ends up saving her son's life?" he said. But as fate would have it, that's exactly what had happened. And now more than ever, Inman must have felt like her efforts with Ruby had finally paid off. But the relieved mother wasn't the only person to take note of Ruby's courageous actions. After news of the dog's efforts spread, she was named Search and Rescue Dog of the Year in 2018. She was also included in a roundup of the 25 most heroic dogs in America. The accolades earned Ruby praise from State Governor Gina Raimondo. Ruby is Rhode Island's top dog. "If not for her efforts, a young man's life could have been lost," she told WPRI in July 2018. "Ruby really is a hero. I commend the Rhode Island State Police for rescuing Ruby and training her for this important work." We hope you enjoyed the video. Please let us know which one of these stories you found the most interesting. And if you liked the video, click on the subscription button and turn on notification so you will be the first to know when we put out a new video. We thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next time.